Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. Please enjoy some scenes and art from a folder in my computer titled Paint These. These are things that I would like to paint, and some of them are paintings already. I would like to try a version. So enjoy those while we discuss autism. Everybody's been talking about how autism is on the rise. If you go on Reddit and read any comment anywhere on anything, everybody says, "Hi, I'm autistic. Today I was tying my shoes and my cat," blah, blah, blah. Whatever the post is, everybody's autistic. It's the thing to be now. Let's discuss why that is and what the hell is actually going on. All right, we all know it's become more common. It's a growing problem. We know it's mostly boys who are autistic, but a small percentage of autistic people are girls. When you meet a girl who's autistic, you have to realize it's exceedingly rare. Autism's just 2 or 3% of the population, and then autistic girls are like 5% of the autists, so they're very rare. So if you meet a girl with autism, she probably doesn't have autism. She's been diagnosed with it. We're going to talk about why that is. We also all know that it is treated by lifelong prescription medication. The prescriptions they're giving these kids are amphetamines. It's who's giving these kids? The prescription they are giving these kids. Who are they? It's the public school system. They're the culprit. Students who are problematic in the public schools are diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, autism, etc. And then they're given medication every morning at school by the school nurse. Medication is provided by the schools. So I had a student named Garrett, and I think my old videos are still up. I haven't taken them down. If YouTube has them available, you can go watch stuff like Garrett's his performance on spelling tests and stuff. He supposedly had ADHD, and he was medicated by the school nurse every morning when he got to school. And the first thing I said to his mother, she enrolled him in the school, and then when we were talking about the fact that he was going to be coming from now on, then she finally told me that he was forced to take medication every day, was not allowed to be at school without having his medication. And the previous year, his behavior was so bad that his mother had to sit with him. The school said, if you come sit in a desk next to him, he can still attend school. Otherwise, he's not going to attend school. You have to come be with him. That's how bad his behavior was. He supposedly had ADHD. And I said, whatever medication they were giving him, stop. Don't give him any more medication. She said, they give it to him at the school, so it's not going to be a problem. And Garrett was not a problem. One time, he threw a rock and hit Daniel in the back, and he immediately got sent home. I called his mother, and she came and got him. And that was the only problem we ever had with him. He did like to go off by himself and read, and he probably wasn't reading, but that's like the worst behavior I got from him. He was as rambunctious and talkative as any other kid. There was no problems with him. He was very good at math, and he was able to read fine. Supposedly he had trouble reading, but he was able to comprehend and read. Anyways, that's Garrett's story. I also had a student named Caden, and you can go check out his stuff on my old videos. He supposedly couldn't read and couldn't spell, and we caught him time and again remembering suddenly, oh yeah, I can't spell, but he could. He could spell fine and he could read fine, and they had convinced him that he couldn't. Because they said, oh, the problem you're having is you've got this thing. And it's not true, he didn't have it. He didn't have reading problems or spelling problems. And then the last example, and this is in a school where I had 15 students. Out of those 15 students, 4 of them were diagnosed with learning problems, which were not true. So these are the last 2 were twins. and they were diagnosed with autism. And they were in my school for a year, and I talked to the mother the summer after the school ended, and she had good news. The doctors said that the autism had dissipated. Their word was dissipated. The autism had gone away. Now, I know why it was. It's because they learned how to focus and think and put two thoughts together and pay attention to something for longer than 2 seconds. That's why the autism, supposed autism, supposedly dissipated. This mother, unfortunately, did not appreciate what she had in my schooling. She was just the next door neighbor. She didn't realize what kind of revolutionary school situation she saw. But the fact of the matter is, that's what cured her two twins' autism, not the fact that she took them to some herbal guru who balanced the copper in their system. She told me, she said their autism dissipated. It's because I went and got their copper balanced. So, yeah, prophets are not without glory, or not without honor or glory, save in their own home and their own land. And she was just a next door neighbor. So she did not appreciate what happened in that school. All right, so there's Garrett, ADHD, Caden, dyslexia, and the twins' autism. All false. All false. And this is happening on a massive scale throughout the country. Millions of students are being diagnosed with these learning disabilities, and it's just the fault of the terrible, awful public schools. Now, who's paying for it? Garrett's mother didn't pay for that medication. The school diagnosed him, and the school gave him the medication. Now ask yourself, is the school paying full price for this medication that they're not charging the parents for? They probably are paying full price, right? I don't know. Maybe they get it on a discount from the big drug companies, but nobody's ever heard a single lick about that, so I'll bet they're paying full price. And are they getting any kickbacks, or are there problematic stock ownerships going on? Like, who knows this is happening and owns what and is pushing it, right? Yeah, I think that the people in education and the people in pharmaceuticals know about this. They each know the other, and it's a virtuous circle for them. The more ADHD and autism they get, the more money they can spend on it, the more they need to budget, and the more the pharmaceutical companies make. It's a racket. The government sells itself medication to run the schools, and by run the schools, we really mean medicate the children who won't submit to the stupefying government education system. In order to run their crappy schools, they sell themselves medication and give it to the kids. And they're motivated to find more and more of these defective kids. And it keeps the market expanding, and it keeps growth. You want that market to grow every year. You want another 3, 5, 7, 10% a year. Year on year on year. And some of the patients love it. There was Garrett who did not like his medication, and his mom didn't, she's an herbalist. She likes balancing copper. So she definitely doesn't want to give the kid chemicals that she doesn't need to give him. But there are some people who do love it. They're told by their doctor that this medication is good for them in some sense. It's going to help treat or cure whatever the problem is that they supposedly have. It helps them focus or something like that. And if the truth be told, all drugs just lower your attention span. Drugs that are psychoactive and are actually doing anything that you can feel or notice are lowering your attention span, so you remember less or forget some things. And amphetamines do that. And I watched a guy who took he took something for ADHD, extremely common. Everybody has heard of this medication. I can't remember what it is. He was a coworker of mine, and we went to dinner after work one night, and we're sitting and discussing this job he's going to go work. And he's flipping on his phone while he talks to me, scrolling his phone. You know how people do. And he just kept scrolling it, and then he would look away and talk to me for a second, look back and just scroll. And the screen was black. The screen was off. He had not activated his screen, and he just kept flicking and scrolling it. I mean, this dude was high on these meds. He takes some doctor's orders, he gets them legally, and he loves them. And that's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. People are getting hooked on amphetamines that are frying their brains. They are no better than street meth, maybe a little better. Chemically, they're much purer. But it's our money that the government is paying to itself and then through that to the pharmaceutical industry, making money all the way. People all the way are getting paid. Nurses are getting paid to diagnose it. Teachers are getting paid extra because they have to put up with it. You know, if you have special needs kids in your classes, you get a raise or double pay or whatever. So it's just money, and they are getting people hooked lifelong on methamphetamines. That is why autism is on the rise. Autism's not actually on the rise, and if it is, it's only rising by like 3 or 5% over a generation, not by the massive numbers we're seeing. It's a boondoggle. It's a racket. And it's drug dealing by the governments in the school system. How bad can it be?